So a lot of the stuff, I mean, I would go over 97, 98 election in France. I think it was Mitterrand and Chirac standing for the National Assembly elections and the presidential elections. So it was a big thing. And I think we had 3 correspondents in Paris at the time, all who needed feeding. And what I would do, I'd get over to France on this particular thing and would try and anticipate what the writers were going to be writing about in 2 or 3 days' time. Because what I didn't like doing, I didn't like the quality of my images being messed up in transmission. And in those days, we had this huge, clunky Nikon transmitting machine, which was it was the size of a small family car. And it was just such a complete and utter nightmare to carry around on and off planes. You know, it filled the boot of my car, and I think I had a big Renault or something at the time. So we preferred to travel light, as they say. You know, one small bag, an overnight bag with the clothes, one small bag with cameras. It meant you could move around very quickly on and off a train. You didn't have to get porters or whatever. So I would try and anticipate what was required. So if I would talk to one of the correspondents and say, right, are we writing about Mitterrand? Are we doing a big background profile? Yep, we're going to be doing it on Thursday for Friday's paper. I would then on Tuesday contact Mitterrand's office in Paris and find out where he was speaking. He may be in Toulouse, maybe in Bordeaux, maybe in Rennes in northern France or wherever. I would then anticipate and shoot the bejesus out of someone like Mitterrand, and I would have, you know, his hangers-on, the people around him. I would have a beautiful set of photographs of him speaking, and he did speak for 2 or 3 hours at a time, sweat, rivulets of sweat running down his face. And I would ship those back to London by air freight. London would get 20 rolls, 30 rolls of film, all black and white in those days. And I would help the picture editors edit over the phone. I would also do drawings of photographs that I thought were important. But also, another thing that I picked up was when I knew, and sometimes you do, sometimes you just know when you've got the right picture. There's just an expression. I would then fire off a blank frame afterwards, so that I would tell the picture editor to go for the blank frame on the set of contact sheets, and then the one before that or the one before that would be the picture to go for. And that, on the whole, pretty much worked. And I would spend 3, 4, 5 weeks on a story like this. And you pick up other things en route whilst you were travelling, say, down through the vineyards. You do a story on what was happening in the vineyards. You might do a story you might pick up from the local paper in Lyon or in the south of France, and you'd carry on. So you were always thinking, you were always producing story ideas, which then the writers that you've been working with, you'd say, right, can you do me 500 words on the state of the Bordeaux harvest? And they would write 500 words, and that might not run for a week or so. As just as a small feature, it might run on the travel pages. But what was important was that once you totaled up the number of pictures we were getting in the paper for the amount of pounds invested, it worked out it was cheaper to have us trailing around Europe than it was to buy an agency material. And that was pretty unique. Again, we had the trust of our editors, and that was important.